to this battle report of Game 6, which is the last and final game of my SCGT tournament attendance, where I use my Bretonnian army. In this game I play against Empire, and you will see it's quite a fluffy list, although I think it's a hard list as well. You can see units on the screen there. It's got some standing models which are really, really cool. I think these come from Cyber Miniatures. These dwarf mounting polar bears or something. Pretty nice to look at. And a little bit of a word of warning here. This is one of these games where things go for one player and don't go well for another player. These are the games we hate to play, and these are the games we hate to play against, I guess. There's nothing, it doesn't represent the player quality. It doesn't really represent the game. It's just a fluke. Yeah, these are the type of games which are a fluke. But you'll see it's quite fun nonetheless. I mean, few things happen. They're meant to happen. They're not meant to happen on such a success rate or failure rate, but they're meant to happen. I mean, if you put heroic Himlo on a guy, you roll a 6, you're gonna kill something. So, one chance in 6, it can happen. So let's see how the game goes. For this game I chose my last and remaining mission, which is the one I thought I was going to have the hardest time to do, which is have more non-fleeing units in my deployment zone than my opponent at the end of the game. So, okay, I got the traps, but usually they get killed or they blow themselves up, and then the rest of my army moves forward most of the time. So, unless I keep my archers somewhere in the deployment zone, then I'm going to be in too deep trouble. But it depends, of course, on my opponent's army, and you'll see. My opponent has a Comp 6, same as I, so very fluffy list for Empire. He doesn't have any cannon, for example, although he does have a cannon on his steam tank, and he's got this cannon as the Luminarch, I think, is some kind of cannon. Anyway, but he doesn't have a cannon, if you see what I mean, nor does he have a Hellblaster. So in terms of terrain, he chooses battle line, and we go forward. For spares, my level 1 of Beast gets Within Wild Form. My level 1 of Life gets Regrowth. I get Throne of Vines, Flesh to Stone, the Dwellers below, and Shield of Thorns on the level 4. The Enchantress. My opponent has a level 4 of Heaven, and straight from there I can see he didn't play Bretonnians much, so I tell him about the Enchantress, what she can do, share her, give him the book basically on the page, and let him see. He knows that some of my knights have different type of vow. But yeah, so he's got Heavens, I know he's got Chain Lightning, and I'm sorry, I kind of forgot for the rest, and you'll see why. So apologies, this is the end of my movement phase, turn 1. The Pegasus Knights are in front of the unit of 9 Knights of the Realm with Damsel level 1. The Bowman and the level 1 of Beast moved into the tower. The Fair Enchantress, the BSB, and another Paladin are in the Knight Errant unit, which is just on the right of the tower there. Behind them is 2 Trebuchets. You get my unit of 6 Knight Errants, full command, and then on the hill is my unit of Questing Knights, and I don't believe I put the character in there. I may have, but I don't believe. My opponent's deployment from left to right, he's got a unit of 5 Demigryphs, so not really fancying getting into combat with these. He's got a unit of Inner Circle Knights with Calfront, and he's got this other named character who is the warrior priest character. He's super killing in combat. He's got random additional attacks or strengths or something like that. He's got champion, he's got something. He's got a Hurricanum, is that then have a unit of archers, I believe, in which he has his level 4 of heaven. He's got a small unit of knights, I believe they're not inner circle, 5 of them. Behind that is a luminarch, and then completely on the right there, next to the house, is his steam tank. So okay, it's a soft list, but damn, it's got hard hitting potential, and just the bus with Carl Franz, etc. I'm not fancying hitting this, but yeah. So this is what I do. Back to my turn 1 movement picture. Basically, I'm gonna try to bait his demigryph unit, try to bait his charging units, his knightly units, for long charge, and hope he fails. And if he doesn't fail, then I still have set up around the unit he can charge to charge in the flank or provide some supporting charges. So as you probably guessed, I win first turn, thanks to the Fey. I then proceed to the magic phase, having had no charges. I throw Throne of Vines, and I get it. Dwellers get scrolled. I use then the Chalice and get 6 Chain Lightning, which means the Chalice is out of power for the rest of the game. I hit the Wizard unit with the archers, get 4 wounds, and then doesn't bounce anywhere. In the shooting phase, the Trebuchet fails to hit, 1 misfires and gets a wound for his trouble. The archers in the tower gets a wound through on the Wizard unit. Empire turn 1, he moves forward with lots of his units. He's not too sure about the demigryphs, and I guess that's where he's worried about my Knight of the Realm unit charging him. He told me he was aware of that virtue that allows me to roll 3d6 instead of 2 on a charge, well, 4d6 for knights. And he's worried that if he moves his demigryphs, he's going to get charged. So I can tell him I don't have the item, I can tell him I have the item, so just he moves up a little bit, but very timidly. He generates some power with his steam tank and moves up as so. In the magic phase, he's got 7 dice, I get 6. He tries to cast Chain Lightning on the Questing Knight, Silver Scroll it, and without takes a wound. His shooting is ineffective, and we go to next turn. Bretonnia turn 2, and because the game allows me to pre-measure everything, I move the Pegasus Knights here to chaff up his army of knights, and I put them such a way that the demigryph couldn't charge me. Because of the weird angle the demigryphs are there, when it was his turn, it wasn't clear if they could charge or not. But really, when I moved the Pegasus Knights, I work with him to see that the Pegasus are not in the charging arc of the demigryph. I forgot to capture the fact that his knights there moved up towards the Questing Knight, and what I do is I move the Questing Knights towards the middle of the battle, and I move up the Knight Errant unit of 6 to chaff up that unit of knights. The Knight Errants with the Damsel, the BSB, and my Heroic King Lord Paladin stay put and make sure they are in range of his big units, so 24 inch away from the Inner Circle Knights with Carl Franz and 24 inch away from the demigryph. I shuffle my Knight of the Realm a little bit, try to position them so if he charges me with his Inner Circle Knight into the Pegasus Knights, kill them and then overrun, then I am in a good distance to countercharge next turn. In the magic phase, I fail to cast Dweller, and straight onto the shooting phase, one Trebuchet causes the wound on the Inner Circle Knight, but that's about it. In turn 2, the Empire player decides to charge that Warrior Priest character into my Questing Knights, and I'm thinking, uh-oh, how hard-hitting is that guy? And on the left side of the board, I don't have a picture of it, but nothing moves, so having left my Knight of the Realm there seems to be checking or keeping in check his 5 models of Demigryph, and I'm very happy about it. I'll take that, and I'll try to keep it as long as possible. In Magic phase, nothing happened. He's got 7 dice. I am very good with the channeling. I get 8, and I shut him down. However, and I don't remember how, I get a wound on the Pegasus. I think it was the Luminarch. Yeah, the Luminarch, I think, shot at them, and I get a wound on one of the Pegasus. Back to combat. So, the Knights on Knights, human on human. His unit of 5 Knights hit hard my unit of Knight Errants, cause 3 wounds, and I cause 2 wounds into combat in return. He wins, but because I have a rank, I am steadfast, and I stick. The combats with my 8 questy knight against his character, Warrior Priest, he gets a wound through. He's got a lot of attacks, he's got a lot of fancy things happening, but he only gets a wound through. I pass my saves and my wards, all bar 1. He charged from the hill, he gets a wound. I have a banner, I have a rank, and I remember I have a war banner, so it's a draw. Nothing happens at the end of the combat phase. Turn 3 for Bretonnia. I charge my Hurricane Low Paladin in the flank of his character and make it. I charge my Pegasus Knight into his level 4 unit of archers and make it. As I assume the Mexican standoff between his Demigryph and my Knight of the Realm lance will last for some turns, I decide to move my level 1 of life closer to provide some support with the rest, or at least deny him some points, in case he chooses to get the Knight of the Realm unit with his 5 Demigryph, and I'll give him quite happily. For Magic phase, I cast Flesh to Stone onto the questing Knight, just to help them brace themselves from the Steam Tank flank charge next turn, so they'll have Toughness 7, which is gonna help. And then, same as my first game, Dweller's Below goes off. I target his Inner Circle Knights with Scarfrons. And oh boy, how I cringed when I saw the rolls he was making. So Scarfrons has a strength of 5, he rolls a 6. His Inner Circle Knights have average strength, but he rolls very high on his dice. Good dice, I guess. Not in this case, though. He loses half of his unit, he loses his general, he loses Scarfrons. That's terrible. I mean, yeah, I didn't know what to do with Scarfrons if we go in combat, but apart from combat resolution, that's another way to deal with it. So I felt so sorry for the guy. He was a nice guy, but of course, that turn, the next 5-10 minutes, it was just frustrating on his side. In the end, we were laughing because you're gonna see how bad his luck is gonna be. But yeah, I guess it happens to me sometimes. I hate it when it happens to someone I play against. I don't like it either, but there you go. The general's dead, but the game's not over. He's got really hard hitting units still. I mean, the Steam Tank, don't know how I'm gonna deal with that. Well, I can know, but it's gonna be luck of dice. And the Demigryph, there's a lot of them, so let's see how it goes. The Peg Knights cause a few wounds with a charge, and I believe he sticks with a double 1, Snake Eyes. And yeah, my Hurricane Blow Paladin gets in. He doesn't challenge, which I guess he should have, but he doesn't. He does 2 wounds to the hero. The hero doesn't save them and dies. And then my Questing Knight unit reforms to face the Steam Tank. The Knight Errants stick and nothing happened in between. I guess we do save and we do not hit back. So that's a draw, nothing gets through. Empire turn 3, so his remaining Inner Circle Knights charge the flank of my Hurricane Blow Paladin. They don't know what they're in for. As expected, the Steam Tank gets into the Questing Knights, but it's not a flank charge, so that's good. And then again, his Demigryph unit, which I dread, I don't want to get into combat with this. He just leaves them there. I guess he really doesn't want to fight my Knight of the Realm unit. Maybe he's got a Bretonnian player in his meta that kicks his ass with Bretonnia, but unit of 3, I die every time I put a lance into them, so I don't know. But it's okay, you know. He doesn't have a magic phase. Oh, I guess the 2 ones were his wall save for his mage, which my peg knights just stomped to death. So yeah, no magic phase for my opponent. Oops. In combat with my Hurricane Blow Paladin, the Inner Circle Knight, lose 1 model to the attacks of the Paladin and gets 2 wounds through. Unfortunately for my opponent, these attacks are strength 5, and I have 2 5-ups, well 5 for the armor and then 5 for the wall save, and you can see the dice on the right there. I pass them both, so he doesn't get any wound through. And to top up everything, I pass my break test, so I cause the wound, he charged from the hill, and he's got a banner, but I stick, so no luck for my opponent really. Now to add to the whole thing, my 3 knight errant I think it was the horses, it's usually my horses. The horses, let's say, kill the 3 remaining knights, or, well, cause enough wound, they break, and they ran them down. So now I've got this unit of 3 knight errant ready to clean up in aisle 3. A little bit of good news for my opponents to make him smile if he watches this battle report. His Steam Tank grinds, kills 3 Questing Knights, toughness 7, which is pretty good. However, they are steadfast and they stick. Next turn, and I think I forgot to mention there was a unit of knights there on the left of the screen. You can see half of the base by the tape measure. Well, in this turn, I remember them. Having gone through and seen my opponents roll terribly and not wanting to have this silly game, I said, hey, what the heck. So I charge my Knight of the Realm lance into his Demigryph unit. It's the last game, it's the end of the tournament. I didn't win anything. I'm not up for anything particularly in terms of achievements or standing. So I want to have a good game, and I want my opponent to have a good game as well if he stops rolling that bad. So there we go, we're gonna have some fights here at least. And to have more fights, I charge my Knight Errant unit with the Damsel, the BSB, and the Enchantress, not the Damsel, the Enchantress and the BSB, into the side or the flank of his remaining Inner Circle Knights. I then move my 3 Knight Errants towards his Yuri Cannon. And that's why I remember. In the shooting phase, my Trebuchet hits and kills the 5 knights who were there on the flank. So I forgot them before, but now they are forgotten for real. Magic phase, I don't think anything specific happened in Magic phase. My Knight Errant lands with my Hurricane Blow Paladin just crush the remaining Inner Circle Knights, and we run them down. My Paladin just sticks where he is, and my unit with the Enchantress moves forward. The Pegasus Knights finish the unit of archers and reform to face the Yuri Cannon. In a combat with the Demigryph and the Knight of the Realm, it seems that I got Wizard Warhammer through. And through a combination of rolls and very good armor saves and Wizard Warhammer, he causes 2 wounds to me, but I've got the ranks, I've got the charge, I have a banner, he doesn't have any. Yeah, he loses by 1. And would you believe it? He panics and he runs off. I overrun, of course, but I do not catch him. The combat with the Steam Tank is in my favor, I take it, against the power of that thing. The Questing Knights get a couple of wounds through, and they pass their wall saves against his attacks, so they stick, and another round of combat there. In his turn, the Empire player is trying to pick up some points, so he's trying to use the Liminarch against the Knight Errants, but doesn't do anything. He rallies with his Demigryph, which is a good thing. Then into combat phase, tries to generate some steam points. And he gets a misfire, so no steam point for the tank. Oy, 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 oy. Right, to his credit, he wanted to charge the Uric Cannon into the Knight Errants, but of course I closed the gate, reforming the Peg Knights there. Between my lance and the Peg Knights he couldn't get through, so yeah, there wasn't much thing he could do. So this game is really one-sided, heavily one-sided. And so on my turn, I charged the Paladin with Hurricane Blow into the steam tank. The Paladin goes first, he attacks, hits twice, rolls to wound, and I get a 6, so Hurricane Blow the steam tank. And you know what? That's why you take Hurricane Blow, is to kill steam tank, and goddamn did it. So I'm very happy about that. However, you know, considering all the bad luck my opponent had during this game, it felt a bit over the top. But you know what? Hurricane blowing a monster with a hero level character is a great thing, it's a great feeling. So when that happens, once every 6 games or more, then I'll take it, and I'm taking it this time. My Knight of the Realm asks for some more and charges the Demigryph who rallied previous turn. For their trouble, they're gonna lose 2 knights, but they will stick. In his turn, my opponent charges the Uric Cannon into the flank of the Enchantress unit, which I moved towards the Demigryph to provide them some support. He's gonna kill a few, but they're gonna stick. The Demigryph, only 3 of them can really do anything. They cause a wound, so of course with my rank, my banner, I win. Yeah, I win, and he fails his moral check, and he runs away, and I run him after the table. So we didn't move things there, but yeah, this is what happens. I killed Demigryph with Knight of the Realms. And at this stage, having been able to reform with my Enchantress unit with Knight Errant, I've got the Hurricane Blow Paladin who is still on his 2 wounds. I've got the Peg Knights, I've got the 3 Knight Errants there ready to charge the Uric Cannon from all sides really. My opponents decide to surrender and to give up. I mean, he's got nothing left apart from the Uric Cannon on the table. And his dice really let him down. Yeah. So at the end of the game, that's Empire 0 and Bretonnia 2547. I did my mission, killed his general, get all his banners and so on and so forth. So yeah, it was a good game. In a way, I won, but it was a terrible game in a way that my opponents did terrible rolls, and I guess didn't realize how much I was worried about his Demigryph and didn't move them. If he put these guys in front, it's gonna be really hard for me to remove them, unless Lucky dwellers this, Lucky shot with a trebuchet there. But they're gonna be a huge deterrent for my efficiency. It really was. Just for me, the cherry on the cake was the lone Paladin just charging the flank of the steam tank and getting Hurricane Blow. That's what it's made for, and when it happens once every 6 games, then it makes you happy in a way. That, unfortunately, that on top of the rest of what happened to my opponent during this game, it wasn't fun. But we shook hands. I've been fair. I've been telling him my rules in terms of Enchantress and dwellers below and stuff like that, and I guess happens sometime. So there you go, win for Bretonnia. So I leave. It turns out that through my losses and my wins, my opponent really liked the way I play the game, or the way I played with them, or I made the game more enjoyable. And so I was one of the 2 person in the tournament amongst the 200 to get Best Sportsman trophy. So very happy about that. That means that I get 5 votes out of 6 for best opponent, or most sporting opponent, I guess. That's what it says on the sheet. And another guy gets 6, so kudos to him. 6 votes is unheard of so far as I can have been told in the SCGT. But yeah, it was great. Really unexpected, really just, yeah, put a cherry on the top of the cake, which was the whole tournament thing. And 3 wins, 3 losses again. Very happy about the results. The Fair Enchantress was great. Dwellers was not that impacting, although, you know, it did help in getting games done. I think I've learned a lot from this tournament. I've learned a lot from my way of playing, and I've learned a lot from the meta and the stuff. Really like this tournament, the format, the comp, I really love the build, the terrains, how they were set up. Each table had the setup printed on the table. There was enough cover, so it would have been very hard for someone to snipe the Fair Enchantress, let's put it this way. So yeah, really cool tournament. Again, you know, won a trophy. You can see there in the picture. It's gleaming. It's a token, but you know what? It's my second tournament. It's a trophy, and it's great. I took it. It's my girlfriend say it's funny you Frenchman took away a best sportsman trophy, which, yeah, in a sense, we're not well known for our fair play and our gracefulness in losing and winning the games. But you know what? That's the way I like to play. That's the way I wanted to convey, and I'm always trying to convey it. I like to play. It may not appear through my battle reports. I know my voice doesn't carry that enthusiasm that other people have in their voice, but my demeanor and when I play, I'm really chuffed. I really like challenging games that have, you know, an exchange between the two players and the two sides. I don't like to have the winning side all the time, or the losing side of them either. I like games to have some challenge. So that was great. In total, the club representatives didn't too bad. I mean, in terms of Bretonnians, I was the 3rd best general out of 8 Bretonnians. So I'll take that. Then again, you know, can't say much because I think I was ranked 83rd, 84th, and 85 were also Bretonnians. So very close there at the middle. The first one was a Polish ETC team Bretonnian player who I talked to. Very cool guy. I mean, clearly on the top, he had to face some very tough armies. So kudos to him. I think he ended up in between 20 and 30. So that was cool. Right, so hope you enjoy this series. I'm going to attend another tournament next, but it's not going to be with Bretonnia. I'm going to play my fluffy Dragon Army list, which has a bit more of hitting power, so it should make the batreps a bit more fun, and it should make, yeah, it's nice to change, you know. I hope Bretonnia will come with some really cool stuff when the army book comes along. At the moment, you know, I really enjoy the Fae as she plays. I think there's a lot of things in Bretonnia that can work, but it's an uphill battle for Bretonnia, you know. If we don't do things right when we should do them, then we're in trouble. Whereas, you know, take Warriors of Chaos, something happens, yeah, you can recover, or you get another hard-hitting unit. Whereas Bretonnia, it's not the same. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed the battle report. Hope you enjoyed the trophy. I know I did a little bit, and yeah, hope to see you on my channel soon for more battle reports.